Hello, Trudy here, One Grounded Angel. This is the angel card reading for the week starting February the 22nd through to the 28th, 2021. Still getting used to that. So one thing I should tell you before we start is that we have a supermoon this week on Saturday, the first supermoon of the year. It's in the sign of Virgo. So some of you who are Virgos will be familiar with what this means, but for those of you who aren't, Virgo is a sign of health, well-being, hygiene, daily habits, animals and nature, organization. So also work to an extent can come in with Virgo energy. So supermoon just means a full moon that's more heightened. And so what we might see is extra energy around those sort of areas. You might get a bit of a push to work on something around your health, for example, or to get more organized. Or maybe you'll have a release. Full moons can often signal release around things that are blocking you in one of those areas. So that's something to be aware of this week. Remember that although the supermoon is officially on Saturday, the energy builds leading up to it. So you may be feeling this now. I know last week, you probably didn't see that, but I was just shuffling as I spoke and the cards went everywhere, so I know it was not the right deck. But last week we did have the card Prioritize, which is very Virgo-esque. So we might be seeing, who knows, perhaps a few more cards around getting organized, motivated, and developing better systems. Virgos love systems. Just bent this card. Monday, starting strong here. Time to go. So this is a time to let go of something that's no longer working for you. And I kind of indicated that might be a factor around the supermoon, given that that's, the release energy can be part of a full moon. And sometimes releases can be painful, but sometimes they can be for our greatest good. Sometimes they're both. Oftentimes I would say, in fact, they're both. So what is it that you need to let go of? It could be walking away from something on a bigger level, like a job that's no longer suiting you, or it could be something more on a micro level, something that you're doing that's getting in the way of your best, your best life. A habit you're doing, maybe you're not setting boundaries, or maybe you are spending time on something that is no longer healthy for you. You'll know what this is. People generally know. The main thing that comes through with this card is a reminder that endings are a part of life, and we need to be willing to let go in order to welcome in the new. So it's really important. Oh, Tuesday, this is a big card. Mediumship. So first of all, this can come up for people who are grieving, and it can let them know that their loved one is there still with them, saying hello. Bit of a sensitive card, this one. Can also be for those of you who sense that they can communicate with people who've passed on. This is confirming that. But if neither of those messages resonate with you, it will just be asking you to be super aware of what's going on for you intuitively. It could be that your spirit guides or your angels, and they are not the same as people who've passed on, remember, that maybe they're trying to reach you. Maybe that's what you need to know here. This is about connecting with your intuitive gifts, whatever form they take. Now, communicating with people who've passed on is not something that I do, but I know there are lots of people who do. So if you're feeling called to develop those skills yourself, there are workshops you can do, or you might like to work with someone in a sort of coaching situation, or you might feel compelled to go and talk to someone about getting messages from someone you know who's passed on. But mostly this is asking you to use your own judgment. And if we're talking angels and spirit guides who have not been human, who we all have, to really communicate with them, all you need to do is ask for their help. And sometimes they communicate with us in dreams, sometimes they leave us signs. Signs can be really tricky. Oh my goodness, about 60-70% of the messages I get would be people getting really confused about signs. So it is an area where people can get really into overthinking, confusion. Please remember this fundamental rule. If you have not asked for a sign, and you see one and you know intuitively it is a sign, then there's nothing to worry about. All they're telling you is, hello, we're here for you, it's going to be okay. Don't go overthinking, maybe they're trying to tell me to do this or this. No, they're just saying hello. Unless you have asked for a sign on something specific, then it'll just be something general. Please don't think a sign that you haven't asked for means you're being warned or something bad is going to happen. That's not the case. The other ways that angels can speak to us is, well, you can Google the four clears if you want more information on this. These are different ways they communicate to us, whether it's through sound, through visions, through feelings, through thoughts. So yeah, really stepping into our intuitive abilities here and trying to go deeper with that. I mean, if you're following this video, you're already sort of on a spiritual path, so this is asking you to really step into that. Wednesday, a card I very rarely see, it's called Unity, and it's about the connections between us. So I tend to interpret this as if you're feeling isolated, this would be a message to remind you that you're not alone. Super reassuring there, first of all. But it also often tells us that the problems you're experiencing are connected to other people, and it could be that you've taken on board other people's problems. Maybe you're an empath who has not set boundaries or isn't practicing shielding. Definitely look that up if you're not doing that, because it's really important. It could also be that a relationship that you're in, which is going through a few challenges, is happening because of something that's going on within you. Maybe some trust issues within you. I'm just using this as an example. You're projecting, it's creating friction, they're picking up on it, even though you're not communicating it, etc. So it's about the way that we're all connected. And sometimes I'm just getting as well, this could be that your health problems are connected to your emotional health. So it might be worth looking at what's going on there. And Louise Hay has tons of information about that if you are interested. I'm going to try it again with a card deck that went everywhere before. Maybe today, this Thursday that I'm shuffling for now, maybe this is the right day for the card. Okay, here we go. It's gone much better. The Fates. Oh, this is the most beautiful illustration. I love it. So fate is an interesting word because often people have very fixed ideas about fate. They think that most of their life is predetermined and they're just here along for the ride. And if things are going badly, they think that they're being punished or that they're just unlucky. And what spirituality, or at least the branch of spirituality that I'm exploring, teaches us is that we have a huge amount of control over what happens to us. That's not to say we have control over everything. Some things are really just random and, you know, really not something we can understand in this lifetime. But there are things we can control. So this is asking you to look at, do I have control over this situation? And the serenity prayer often comes to mind with this one, which I know is used a lot in Alcoholics Anonymous. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I think I got those around the wrong way, but you know what I mean. It's about understanding what can I control, what can't I control. What is fated for me? What am I inadvertently causing by my lack of healing? Maybe I keep attracting these situations not because I'm unlucky, but because there's something within me that needs to be healed. Spoke a lot about trust issues last week that came up really strong. This could be a continuation of that. If you are struggling to trust people, there's a good chance you're going to attract people who are untrustworthy because your fear is going to start to attract that. That's not, you know, a hard and fast rule, and it's not about blaming you. It's just saying there can be a correlation there, not always. So it's worth doing a little bit of digging, working with an energy healer to help you understand that. What is going on here? Also, I do sense there is a way to interpret this card, which may be for people who are getting a bit of a nudge from the universe about their life purpose and they're ignoring it because it's a little bit too hard and challenging at the moment. And this is reminding you that your life purpose, although it's not a case of fate, it is something that your soul chose to do in this lifetime. And if you're ignoring that, they're just going to keep nudging you until you do it. And if you don't do it, you're going to come back and do it in your next lifetime. So you may as well just do it now. So working on that and not going into avoidance because, yeah, I mean, I avoided a big part of my life purpose for many years, and now finally I'm getting on with it. It is, I do understand that we don't always want to leap into that straight away. Friday's card is creative writing. I'm laughing because this is connected to my life purpose, which I was just speaking about. So Archangel Gabriel is depicted here, who is associated with communication and particularly writing. So you can always call on Gabriel for help if you need it. The message here is make time to write down your thoughts in a journal or pen an article or book. So for those of you who are feeling called to do some creative writing, literally, yes, do it. For those of you who are like, that's not really my bag, this first part applies to you. Make time to write down your thoughts in a journal. Journaling is, I cannot overstate how helpful it is. It helps get things out of your head on the page. You can see things more clearly. You can better understand where you've gone into, oh no, that's just my ego overthinking, or this is actually an intuitive message. It gives you clarity. It's so important. There's so much going on in our brains. We can't be expected to easily make sense of it. This is one way that can help. Is it going to fix your problems? No, sorry, but it's going to help give you some perspective, and perspective is huge. So we're going on to Saturday now. And one thing I should have mentioned as well, Mercury retrograde coming to an end. You'll be very pleased to know. So here we have courage. Who doesn't need this? So maybe the courage is to work through this, what it is you need to let go of. Or maybe the courage is more about something to do with life purpose. I'm throwing this out there because I was just talking about it. Maybe the courage is about confronting a situation that you need to deal with. So lots of things coming up here. I keep getting drawn to this sort of crimson color. I don't know why. Maybe that's significant to some of you. I'm not quite sure of the significance, but it really stands out to me as something that we need to pay attention to. It could be because it's the color of passion, and the writing here says, I live life passionately and courageously. So maybe that's part of it for you, is that stepping into giving yourself space to explore your passions is going to take some courage. And Archangel Michael is your spiritual call on person for that. Not a person, but you know what I mean. Whew. 2 cards for Sunday. Celebration, yay. Manifestation, also yay, but in a different way. Let's start here. Celebration. I love that the moon is here. This is the day after the super moon that this card's come up. The energy is still strong around it. So it does, to me, indicate something good coming through around the full moon, the super moon, I should say. But also, it could indicate something else good happening in your life. I don't know. I do think there are lots of things going on in our lives that we don't celebrate because we're busy with the minutiae of life, and sometimes people can have a little bit of fear of celebrating because they think, what if this is taken away from me, or it's not safe for me to step into joy because I've got too many other things to worry about. So maybe this is a call to celebrate the everyday stuff in your life that's going really, really well. And even though I have no doubt there are challenges for you, I'm sure there are many, many joyous things that you can celebrate, and it's safe for you to do that. Moving on here, manifestation. Stars, beautiful stars are showing up in both illustrations here. Not sure if that's a connection, but it's certainly nice to look at. Manifestation, so again, a reminder of our ability to work with the universe to co-create what we want, and reminding us we have the power to do that. Maybe that's the courage part for you. So the thing that I often emphasize when it comes to manifestation is it has been quite watered down in what you read online. A lot of people have distilled the idea of the law of attraction into being something that if you just put a lot of focus on it, it will happen. And it's just not that simple, sorry. You also need to be taking action towards your goals, planning them out, and working on the things that might be getting in the way of you moving forward. Like, are there some deep fears coming up here? Do I have a pattern of, I don't know, something going on here that needs to be addressed? If I use the trust issues example again, because why not? Maybe those are what you need to work through with a healer, because they might be blocking you from attracting a healthy relationship if that's indeed your goal. So looking at manifestation, how we can use that to best advantage, I feel this is strongly connected to that one about the fates, and reminding us also the power of our mindset. So if we're spending a lot of time in self-defeating thoughts, this is never going to work out for me, etc., we're going to inadvertently block ourselves from moving forward. There is an article on my website, I think it's a couple of years old, but it should be pretty easy to find. Why isn't the universe giving me what I want? I'm pretty sure that's the title. If you don't find it, just message me and I'll find it for you and send it to you. But it goes through a whole lot of different reasons we can inadvertently block ourselves from attracting whatever our goals might be. So, and we also need to remember a little bit of patience. Sorry, I know no one ever wants to hear that, but sometimes it just takes time. Have I got every day here? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Yes, I do. That's great. Okay, so Well, working with the universe to co-create what we want is coming up strong with that manifestation in the fates. Oh, I've got that round the wrong way. Time to go was the first one. So I think the courage one could be speaking, whoops, here it is. Sorry, it's hard when I'm looking at the camera in reverse. Courage around this idea of letting go and making changes, what we need to step into, doing the healing work perhaps around this unity message. I feel this one's really significant. I think it's going to show up for a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. That's one too. I'll be watching the comments on Instagram keenly around that one. So hopefully that has given you some insights into how you need to move forward and address the week ahead. And remembering, of course, to make time for celebration, even though we all have many things that we need to work on. Thank you for being here to watch this video. It will go on YouTube. And of course, you can watch each card come up on my Instagram feed, which is at One Grounded Angel, and also Facebook, One Grounded Angel. If you want to talk to me about any of the issues that have come up for you that you'll go, I think I need to work through that, I do offer energy healing sessions over Zoom. Distance is no issue, and time zones are totally figure-outable, in the words of Marie Forleo. You can find out more information about my work at www.onegroundedangel.com. onegroundedangel.com. Thank you, everybody, and have a terrific week. The last week of February. Take care.